on the first.
Okay.
We're gonna call the meeting to order. You'll have to excuse my voice this evening. 2.0, signing of the warrants, those are being passed around right now. 3.0, adjustments to the agenda. There is going to be a friendly amendment to the agenda. We are going to add an 8.4, which is a consider an Caribou Tech Center teacher, science and math teacher. And it will be William Garrett, which will be voted on at that time. I don't believe there are any other adjustments, correct?
Correct.
Okay. 4.0, approval of the minutes from April 2nd. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I wasn't here, but I'm gonna second it because Dave's not here.
Well, I was on my phone, so I can second it if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got most of the meeting.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. And one abstention. Jan will abstain.
However you're gonna get it out.
Yeah. 5.0, public comment. We do have one here. Mr. Cook.
It's not about 8th graders this time. I propose amending NEPN NSBA Code BB School Board legal status to add 4 members to RSU39 School Board. Holton has 13 members, Mars Hill has 8, Woodland has 7, Easton has 5, Prescott has 17, and we have 5 members. So by adding more members to our school board, it'll give more representation to community members and serves. I understand we'll have to get an amended certificate of organization from the State of Maine's Department of Education. But I'm unsure what all that entails, so I'd like to be contacted to discuss how this can be brought forth. The time and manner is I'm sure I will need to take effect before the next election. And just looking to find out how these meetings are publicly sent out. The agenda was published 5 days ago. I couldn't find it anywhere on the website or on the calendar or in the app. So just want to make sure that I can find the information for future meetings. And I have
Can I
mine.
just respond to one thing? I was gonna mention it later, but it's fitting now.
Okay.
We have just updated our website, and now it's the agendas and minutes are right on the home page. So when you open up the RSU39, they're like fingers, I call them fingers, come out, and the board agendas and minutes are one of those fingers. So it should be much more easily accessible. That's due to, it might have been your previous comments from.
So the policy says it's supposed to be like publicly announced. I just didn't know how that was announced, if that was the way or not. Yeah. So
I think we did look at, when Limestone withdrew, we looked at, because it's a lot for a small board, because there's so many other committees. So when we were a 7-person board, it was a lot easier. We weren't so overwhelmed with so many committees, but it's
a large process.
and it's quite costly because they have to do a census and so anyway, I think it just kind of got.
You have to do a survey of some sorts to figure out what the size of the board should be, and it has to do
But I
with census and voting and.
And then the whole charter would have to be open.
And there was a big cost, I think. That was the biggest thing, was the cost from, yeah. So they had to go do a city census, or I don't know.
Not saying that we don't think it would be pertinent to look at increasing size, it's just, it's an involving process, so we just want you to be aware, so we can certainly revisit it and just see what that entails and share that.
I believe it's the government. Everything's harder.
And just
I
know
would
that,
be happy to have more board members.
Yeah. Right from the get-go, I had wanted
Yeah, I think we all.
at least 2 more.
Yeah.
The 7 was.
7 was a better
seemed like
number. Yeah, for sure.
and just know that this isn't the first time it's been talked about. So we kind of broke our jive that we normally do, because we don't normally respond, but just so there's a, no, it's okay. I'm not saying that about you, Jan. It's just, you've come to all of the past 3 or 4 meetings, and so there hasn't been a lot of back and forth, so I'm just, this time, very specific answers that we could give you right away.
It takes the heat out of Jan. I'm the one who broke the rule first.
No heat on you.
My bad.
The 2 J's here.
Yeah, but thank you. All right, that move to 6.0, district reports.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
sure.
didn't
Did you sign
have-
it?
Came in late, sorry.
Name wasn't good.
My name is Bruce Hagelstein. I reside here in Caribou. With everything that's going on, I wonder if the RSU39 school board is going to take a stance on the transgender issue. Hodgins has done it, and very pleased about that. It's making a statement. I know, from my understanding, there is not a transgender student within the RSU39 district, but that's not the point. The point is make a stand on what we believe in, and I just wondered if the RSU39 school board is going to take a stand on this and let the public know.
I don't believe we'll be commenting on that.
Why?
We have not discussed it.
It's a pretty important issue, and I think it should be discussed. And I think for the community in the surrounding area and give support to not having males and female locker rooms and so forth within the state, I think it is important to take a stand on that.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
comment. Six anything for district reports, Jane?
None.
Thank you. 7.0, old business, I don't see anything, so I'm assuming nothing for that one also. And we move into 8.0, new business. 8.1, Caribou High School science teacher.
Mrs. Selfridge and a team of people did interviews, and we are recommending Sean Jarrett for the science teacher position that's vacant at Caribou High School. Mr. Jarrett has experience, he's currently teaching in Prescott, and he has experience downstate Cape Elizabeth area as well, so very knowledgeable and very much interested in working with the students here in RSU39.
That's great. I make a motion to approve.
Well, wait a minute, did we have any local people?
There were 2 applicants,
Two total?
correct, and this is the position that's been
Been
vacant
vacant for so
2
long,
years.
okay.
So I make a motion to approve the recommendation.
Is there a second? Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. 8.2, consider revisions and updates to policies. I will pass that over to our policy subcommittee. Looks like we're starting with JICJ.
I think we had said this would be a first read, so.
Yeah, the
So
first.
this is just consistent with the work that Jan did with the committee on cell phone usage, and obviously we had a prior presentation at the board level. This policy would basically adopt essentially a no cell phone use training, essentially. So we're proposing this as a,
This was our original, this is what we have now, and this is the first read.
right, first read of that, so that we're proposing a first read to basically amend the policy.
Is there a,
I would say it's far more robust when you look at it. It adds a lot more language about use and prohibited uses, particularly with cameras, watches, all of that. That's become particularly problematic with social media and other elements.
This one was pretty vague,
Yeah.
this one's more specific. The only thing, like, after our meeting, I would think is like, maybe we should pull in the stat, because I think for them to work, maybe when we look at it again, looking at the stat, cell phone policy
At the same time.
at the same time.
You
Did we
actually
just approve
just,
that?
you
Yeah,
just
we did.
approved
Just
it
did
within the last 12 months.
I know, but wasn't it kind of vague like this?
It wasn't bad.
No.
I think it's.
No, we clarified personal versus school devices, and, because I think Lou was telling me that.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, I remember it coming through, but it
Yeah,
just wasn't as,
No, I thought it was, I thought it covered what needed to be, but we could certainly look at it.
I just know like the cell phone committee that put a lot of work and effort into that, and for this to work, it's gonna be a joint effort from teachers, staff.
I think the language was fairly consistent, but we can certainly bring them side by side.
Sure. Was there any discussion too about, when we had that presentation, the locker, what you call it?
Yeah, we just don't have the means.
Parking lot.
Additional equipment or whatnot for storage or housing, so we did not, that's not been included in the policy, not to say it could be amended in the future if some miraculous funds became.
And things
I'm not doing anything right now, clearly.
We were saying more at maybe the building level might do, there, during the cell phone committee, there was talks of different ways, like the shoe holder.
Yeah, I've been in classes with the shoe holders
And there might be more creative ways, yeah.
Yeah.
In lieu of some of the device, what they showed us, which for the, what do they call that?
Those yonder pouches. We are gonna be ordering some of the parking garages, like the superintendent from RSU39 think that not in every classroom, but we will have them available in places in the office, especially because right now, if you go into Mr. Barnes' office, for example, he usually has a basket full of phones. So this would be a more orderly way to.
Yeah.
Pick up and try them.
The yonder pouches were very expensive, and we just didn't feel that this was a time that we should be spending funds like that. for-
And the yonder pouches would have only been like, I think, was it high school?
We
And
had
then-
priced them out for grades 7 through 12, I believe.
Yeah, but then in the committee meeting, we found out as young as like 3rd and 4th grade are having cell phones. So maybe something not as, but, yeah.
So the recommendation is first read. Do we need a motion to review? Yeah.
You know, for first read?
I believe we did.
Second for the first read, yeah.
So
So we approved it for first read, yeah.
I believe the motion from the subcommittee is to
Approve as a first read.
first read. Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. And then policy GDN, family medical leave.
That, just because it hadn't been revisited, we just really updated, amended language to make sure it was more, it wasn't inconsistent, but just blended better language to align with the law. And the recommendation here would be that you'll see it's a little bit more robust, but you merge two policies together. We basically merged GBN R1 and R2 into one to avoid some duplication, redundancy, and just make it, more kind of consistent in terms of the administrative practices. So I think, did we say first read on this too? I'm trying to think. Or did we just say file?
I don't think we said.
I don't remember it being
Yeah.
discussed whether it's the first or second.
So, I mean, there is a lot of red lines, so I guess for that reason, I just say first read so people have time to digest it. But it's not necessarily new language, it's just, I think it's better clarity and to make sure it's.
Do we still have the definition of serious health condition I know we had it in the contract for years.
It's in the actual policy now. If you look at the second page in red and go down to that section, you'll see serious medical, I think it's in there. I thought I read it.
Oh, yeah, serious,
know
mental
it's
health
somewhere.
condition means an illness, injury, impairment of physical, yeah, okay. It is in, page 2 under D.
And then if you look under the second, when you look at the GBNR1, it talks again under FMLA and for reasons. Again, serious illness, health illness, et cetera, death, donation.
It's just handy to have in
Yeah.
there when
Well, that's what we felt.
couple of
Yeah.
questions. It's great.
Yeah.
So first read
We
is
might as well do a first read, and then we can do a file. I just want people to digest the red lines.
move to, put it as a first read, family medical leave.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. And then we are on to 8.3, consider a cooperative education program at the Caribou Regional Technology Center.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher this, so I'll defer to Ms. White if we get something wrong, but essentially, it would be a mechanism to create the equivalent of JMG under the auspices of the Caribou Technology Center, which would create some advantages in terms of funding, crossover, that will enhance, I think, or be able to enhance the student experience. And again, financial benefit, but also benefit in terms of crossover and additional elements and duties that they can serve that would be beneficial to the Caribou Tech Center. The reason we're bringing it forth for approval now is Ms. White needs to submit or is submitting an application for this approval. This would not be next year, but the year after, is that correct? That's correct. So again, it would be that, so again, advantageous for that reason. So still servicing the same, doing the same types of components, but again, enhanced on that.
And how would this affect the current JMG?
It would be incorporated within a cooperative education. This is, right now,
Because I know you
JMG,
have two JMG.
we have our own specialist at Caribou Tech Center,
Yes.
correct?
And then how will it affect the person at the high school? Will she be pulled in or no, not at all?
It would be a new position, it would have to be posted. That's my understanding.
Correct.
And we have to just go through those normal hiring protocols.
And currently, we do not utilize the JMG specialist from Caribou High School.
Right,
Yeah.
so I guess my question is, will she have to reapply? How does it affect her?
In the position.
Okay, just clarifying.
But not next year, the year after, but she needs a board approval so that she can receive. board
And financially, it's more,
Right, it would be covered.
covered more than how it is now, because we still,
We have to pay for a portion of that, and then this would fall under Caribou Tech, technology funds.
Yeah.
That's, so it would be 100% reimbursable. So it's a win-win. So with that, I'm recommending that we approve the request so that she can proceed forward with the application.
second,
Any further discussion or questions? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. And then our amended agenda item, 8.4, looking for a motion for adding the position for Caribou Tech Center Science Math Teacher, and the recommendation is William Aaron.
Obviously, it's a long-standing history with us.
Yeah, I mean, Bill has worked in the alternative ed program for a number of years, and then this year he's been mostly working in the tech center, but still working a little bit with the adult ed, I think, some this year.
He's worked adults in correct.
So, yeah, and Amy, I think you had two applicants? Correct. Two applicants for the position, and he was the only one that was certified in both math and science. The other candidates were only certified in science.
And is this some of the work that that might lead into getting more credits for science and math under the tech?
That still falls on local control to determine, we don't transcript student grades, so that would fall on all of the high schools that we serve to make the determination. But there certainly would be, the opportunity for that.
I think we've talked about that in the past, just how that might help levy that. I would make a motion to approve that recommendation.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Brings us to 9.0, superintendent report. Hand it off to you.
No resignations and no retirements at this time. Transfers, the recommendation is to transfer Josh Wimmer. He's our former science teacher at Caribou High School, and transfer him to be the foreign language teacher. As you know, we've had a vacancy there, had a long-term sub. Very fortunate that we have had the long-term sub that we've had to come back. But Josh has certification in foreign language, so he could, and the plan is that he will the foreign language will be Latin. But he speaks French fluently and will be getting a conditional for French, so he will be able to finish out the students that are currently in the French program and need to finish off their year. And then we will transition that into Latin.
Just wondering, what does college do? College recommendation, is it any foreign language?
Correct, yes. And so this is one that helps them, people don't go and speaking Latin. It helps to the academic understanding of
Words, word, yeah.
Absolutely.
So yes, we're transferring Josh Wimmer to foreign language teacher.
9.4.
We need approval on it, no, we don't need.
No,
No, we're
that is okay.
Although if a student wanted to take French courses, I believe that would be opportunity to sort of thinking that with Dan, what am I thinking of?
Yeah.
A platform played.
Ingenuity,
Of course,
probably.
that would be right. They really had a strong interest in,
No, well,
just given the region.
what's, and I never remember the letters, but what, when, the letters.
Otherwise, it would be like, oh.
American Sign Language?
No, what, when you're senior, you build up your schedule and, you can take, is that what, an ELO? Could they do an ELO and get, I mean, we don't have those answers, but it's out of possibility.
I mean, at this time, we don't have any, nothing is built, but at this time, we don't have that
Right.
built because we haven't needed
Needed
it.
it.
You know?
Yeah, no, I just asked just because obviously French is still, a dialect that's still regional in many ways. Like, I still use my French all the time.
You can say something, Mrs. Selfridge, I know you're dying
I
to.
can answer these questions. So ELO, maybe, it's probably not the best fit, but we do have Ingenuity, so any student, if they have met their graduation requirements and are seeking elective offerings that we don't offer, we do allow them to take the online course as an elective. We do it as a pass-fail, just because we don't get into the messiness of grades with online courses, but they could certainly still pursue. We had a student actually take Latin as an elective on Ingenuity before we had it. So we've had the reverse as well. So if students did want to continue with something later on, they could. And there's a variety of languages on there, from French to Spanish to German to Latin.
German, Chinese,
Yeah,
Latin.
there's a huge variety. So that possibility is still there. We don't necessarily have the capacity in the LMS to do a foreign language ELO right now. That course just isn't built, but we do have the online option.
Moving on to new hires, Jacob Morrow, hired for a custodian here at Caribou Community School, and Preston Ratlaw, custodian here at Caribou Community School. So that fills our vacancies.
Thank you. Do we have anything for 10 enclosures besides our own? No. 11, anything for other matters? Do you have anything, Tanya? Jan? Lou? I'm good, thanks.
So I already mentioned about the agenda and the minutes that are now easier access, and I appreciate hearing that from the community, because that was an easy fix for us, but it's nice to know that they were kind of so deeply embedded that people were struggling trying to find them. So I thank our IT department for getting on that. Just to make you aware, on April 28th, we're going to be rolling out the pilot for Bus Right, our transportation program that we're now using. So we've got the tablets in most of the buses over April vacation. The rest will be installed. So the tablets that are carried have all the bus routes for the students that are riding that bus. So now it's time for us to push out the app to parents. And so we are going to pilot it with 3 buses. We want to just start with the 3 buses that have been using it consistently for a while and comfortably. So we have bus 2, that's Kirk Sear as the driver, bus 4 is Brian Pelletier, and bus 15 is Rodney Burgoyne. So we will be soon, before the end of this week, sending out a letter to parents of the students who ride those 3 buses and inviting them to download the app. There's all the instructions on how to do so. And so starting April 28th, the parents, if they choose to download the app and choose to, then they will be able to track their students' buses and where they are at all times when the students are on the bus. So we want to send it out and get some feedback from parents, and then the plan is in the fall to push it out to all parents as an option to see that we think it's safest to start with a small group and get some feedback if needed. But as far as how it's working so far, the bus drivers are appreciating it. Substitute bus drivers are loving it, because now it's all, everything is there, and it, it not only shows you where the stops are, but it tells you what the stops are too. So it's putting together everything. So we'll be rolling that out. Vacant positions that we have at this time, just an update, still our GT/innovation teacher. We've got that still open. grade 5 teacher, where Mr. Martin is retiring, that's still vacant. CDL instructor, we're still seeking, I think Amy's working on some interviews. And then we have 3 ed tech positions that are still vacant, and not necessary that they have to be filled this year, it would be nice, but if not, for sure, they have to be filled by next year. Is that correct, Dr. McGowan? And lastly, just to kind of put it on your calendar, it's a ways away, but it's not that far away, is Carroll High School graduation will be on June 6th at 1 o'clock, so
June 8th.
June, yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Am I wrong? Yeah, June 8th at 1 o'clock. So you might want to put that on your calendar, and that's all that I have.
I have one more thing, just to get it on everyone's calendar. Our next meeting is, I believe, May 7th, correct? And that is our big budget. No, yes,
It's the
no.
board
approval.
board approval, and then later on in May, 2 weeks after that, I think it's pretty
May
much on the day, 2 weeks after that will be the budget, will be the budget public. Yeah, that's the.
Okay. With that, I move that we enter into an executive session to consider the re-entry of an expelled student pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 4056B. Any discussion? All in favor? What? Community member